Well, the virus has now killed more than 100 people in China, and new cases have been confirmed around the world.
So you don't want to frighten the American public.
France and South Korea have also got evacuation plans.
But you need to prepare for and assume.
Strongly warning Americans to avoid all non-essential travel to China.
That this is going to be a real serious problem.
France, Australia, Canada, the US, Singapore, Cambodia, Vietnam, the list goes on.
Health officials are investigating more than 100 possible cases in the US.
Germany, a man has contracted the virus.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
Japan, where a bus driver contracted the virus.
Coronavirus has killed more than 100 people there and infected more than 4,500.
We have to prepare for the worst, always, because if you don't and the worst happens...
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Joe Biden is and always has been a corrupt politician. I hate to say it. And the Biden family is a criminal enterprise. It really is. It's a criminal enterprise. To be honest with you, he makes crooked Hillary Clinton look like an amateur. And China has already bought and paid for Joe Biden. Let me tell you, if Joe Biden became president, China will own this country. China will own. You know, they're paying us billions and billions of dollars a year. I charge them billions. They never paid us 10 cents. I gave $28 billion to the farmers, many of them right here, 28.
You stand by your statement that you did not discuss any of your son's overseas business dealings with him?
Yes, I stand by that statement.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem true anymore, does it?
Leland, thank you so much for bringing this up, and I really appreciate Jillian pressing Steve, the representative from the Trump campaign, on the fact that so much of this is unconfirmed.
Okay, so Jenna, it's real simple. You say it's unconfirmed. Tell us what parts are not true. I mean, Hunter Biden knows what emails he has and hasn't sent. Are you saying, in the campaign, saying that these emails aren't his?
It's unclear to me. I would say that what's so important right now from both the American citizen and the media, yourself included, Leland, is to continue to ask clarifying questions about this, why the FBI is investigating. But it's imperative to note that the NSA told them that Giuliani was being played by these emails.
But again, Jenna, the easiest thing in the world to do, stop with all the obfuscation. The easiest thing in the world to do would be to say these aren't Hunter Biden's emails. Nobody, including Hunter Biden and including the campaign, has said it. Listen to the one time Joe Biden was asked about this.
I know you'd ask it. I have no response. It's another smear campaign. It's right up your alley. They're the questions you always ask.
What's interesting is I feel like you still haven't answered the fundamental question, which is, can anyone say that these emails are inauthentic? And so far, I haven't heard anybody say that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't think anybody's saying they are inauthentic.
Jenna, let me ask you about it.
Welcome to the War Room. It's Monday, October the 19th, the year of our Lord 2020. What have you got? 13 days, 14 days, and a wake up until Election Day. Or as they tried to make it, election month, election year, election several weeks. We'll find out more about that as we go along. Welcome to the War Room on the John Fredericks Radio Network, Newsmax TV, Real America's Voice, and G News and GTV, subtitled in Mandarin and blown through the CCP's firewall. We have the mayor, Rudy Giuliani, joining us down the line. Jack Maxey, Raheem Kassam here on Capitol Hill. Mayor Giuliani, thank you for taking the time this morning.
Oh, good to be with you.
So we heard there, Mayor Giuliani, we've heard the refrain over the course of the weekend that you're getting played. You're getting played by these emails. What do you have to say?
Well, I have to say they're desperate. And Joe is hiding in his basement. He probably went down one level below the usual basement now. It is true. They haven't denied their Hunter Biden's hard drive, his emails, his text messages, and his disgusting photographs. They are Hunter Biden's. There's no question. I mean, they might as well fight about it if they want, but they are definitely Hunter Biden's, and what they reveal is a 30-year pattern of crime on behalf of the Biden family. There's one text that tells it all. Hunter texts his sister, I believe, complaining about how he's been misused, which he has been actually. For 30 years, he's been basically a bagman for Crooked Joe. He gets the money. He has to split half of it with Joe. This is his explanation. And then he's got to take care of a lot of the family expenses. That's been Joe's pattern. I mean, he's been doing it since his crooked brother, James, who was a slimy lobbyist, was making little bucks in Delaware. They're just like little grifters in Delaware. Then he became a senator. They started making more and more. Then his son got out of school. He put him into a no-show job with a bank in Delaware, and they were collecting millions. And then they started collecting multiple millions when Joe sold us out in Iraq, Ukraine, Russia, and worst of all in China, where we now have documents showing that as recently as a year and a half ago, he was in business, Joe was, with a Chinese communist, 3 Chinese communists. He was going to get 10% of that business and 50% of the Biden family money. Everything I just told you comes from Hunter Biden, not me. It's on the hard drive. Why the FBI has covered it up for 7 months, you got to ask Director Wray. Maybe it's the same reason he covered up the Brennan admission that the whole Russia hoax was developed by Hillary Clinton to take attention away from her computer, which is in Brennan's handwriting. And I can't tell you, I'm beyond angry that as President Trump's defense lawyer, I was never shown that handwritten note. It would have completely exonerated him, saved America $40 million, and probably saved Papadopoulos and Carter Page and a lot of other people from having their lives ruined.
It would have saved the nation a lot of anguish.
Joe Biden is a very well, he is not the nice man that he pretends to be. He's even a lousy father, because who takes a drug-addicted son and puts him in business with Chinese communists, the most crooked guy in Ukraine, the wife of the mayor of Moscow, one of the most corrupt women in Russia, and a friend of Vladimir Putin's? Who does that to a drug-addicted son but an extremely greedy father?
Wow. Giuliani, just before we get further into it, and I'm going to hand over to Jack Maxey in a second to get further into some of the details on this as well, including the latest from the Director of National Intelligence from this morning. We also had another bit of breaking news this morning. We have on the lead story on the National Pulse website the fact that the Debate Commission seems to have changed the debate topics for Thursday. Now, there was going to be, as we understand it, a very specific focus, as there usually is in the third debate, on foreign policy, but they put out the debate topics on Friday night, and they're now the same as the first debate, basically. Coronavirus, race relations. I mean, what say you to this? They've taken this debate and they've derailed it because, guess what? They don't want Joe Biden to have to answer to these emails.
I don't know what to tell you, Raheem. The corruption of the media is beyond anything I've ever seen. I mean, it is so obvious. It's been so obvious for a year and a half that Biden was involved in bribery in Ukraine, and now he's involved clearly in bribery in China, Russia, Iraq. I guess they're trying to cover it up as much as they can. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, I've been a prosecutor almost 50 years. I've investigated some of the worst criminals in the world, including Nazis, who I prosecuted, and they were executed overseas. I've never seen anything like this. And Biden is really thoroughly corrupt, but the media, in some ways, is even worse. I mean, here they're trying to help a man get into the White House who's been a crook all his life. It started in law school, Raheem. The guy plagiarized in law school and cheated. I don't know, maybe you can get over that, but he didn't. It just got worse, and the more they enabled him, the worse it got. I mean, he is thoroughly confident that if he stays in that basement and he goes to that debate, his friends will protect him. And maybe it's the corruption of China. I mean, they all make big money in China. China owns Joe, lock, stock, and barrel. I mean, they've given him. Right now, I can count about 40 million that has gone into the Biden crime family from China. And I'm not even close to going through all the transactions. Gone through 2 of what look like about 10.
Mayor, this is Jack Max. I want to ask you, from an espionage influence operation by a foreign intelligence service, an enemy of ours, or various enemies. I mean, this could be Iran, etc., right? If you have an asset that you're working, and I know you have a lot of experience in this area, do you keep paying that asset if they do not deliver?
No, of course not. Look, I started off thinking that Biden made a mistake when I first heard this 2.5 years ago, and I picked it up, defending my client. Look, now you go back and look at it, right? Every negotiation with China, China won, U.S. lost. Joe was conducting those. At the same time, the Sun was getting $1.5 billion pumped into his absolutely crooked private equity fund, who had as a partner Whitey Bulger's nephew. China investing in a fund run by a degenerate drug addict. I mean, the guy has been a drug addict all his life. China has the pictures on and more. So I must have 50 pictures of him, smoking crack in a closet, in a drug den, in a bed with various women. Look, that's an affliction. I feel sorry for him if he's a drug addict. But I wonder what kind of father he has that puts him in a position to be doing business with some of the most crooked people in the world. Mykola Zlochevsky, who stole $5 billion from Ukraine. Whitey Bulger's nephew, Xi Jinping, who was a Chinese intelligence operative, who's now floating at the bottom of the Yangtze River. These are the people the old man put him in business with. I don't know, if you had a son who unfortunately had a drug affliction, would you do that to him? I don't know what kind of man he is, and he pretends to be this. He wears his Catholic religion on his sleeve. He goes to mass. All this stuff.
Mayor,
this has got to be one of the biggest phonies I've ever seen.
While I have empathy for the kid's drug problem, okay?
I do too. I have none for no.
It was Biden who jammed through that 1986 Drug Control Act, or Drug Abuse Act, that took crack cocaine 5 grams, 5 years. It took a half kilo of powder to put you away. So all the Colombians and the guys dealing it. I mean, he put a whole generation of African Americans in jail on this.
I never thought of that.
And we have,
oh my God,
we have photographs of his son with piles of crack, and no problem. He's got a crack pipe out in Arizona. Oh, we can't follow up on that, because
I never thought of that.
It would show that Joe Biden put a generation of African Americans in jail, and his son gets to walk scot-free.
This is a really bad guy. I mean, look, I have dealt with the heads of the mafia, American and Sicilian, some of the worst people on Wall Street, any number of crooked politicians, several congressmen I prosecuted and convicted, commissioners, most of one of my predecessors' administration. That's how I became mayor. And Nazis. So he's not a Nazi, but he's right up there. I mean, this is a really bad guy.
Right. Mayor, just before we have to go to break. Go ahead.
When you plagiarize in law school, I guess you better watch that guy pretty carefully, huh?
Well, plagiarized his whole life. I mean, from Neil Kinnock and in law school and beyond that. I mean, this guy has a history of lies, a history of corruption. And like you say, Mr. Mayor, I think it's one of the most pertinent points of all of this, and surely to a lot of parents will be the most poignant point of all of this. He's effectively set his son up to be the fall guy on all of this stuff. His drug-addled son to be the fall guy on all of this stuff. Mayor Giuliani, we've got to go to a quick break here, Mayor. Can we hold you over to the next segment here?
Yeah, sure. I can't get off your show anytime I come on.
Well, we'd love to have you on. The audience is wild for you, Mr. Mayor. We'll be right back with more War Room Pandemic live from here on Capitol Hill. Jack Maxey, Raheem Kassam, Mayor Giuliani. Got Jack Posobiec in this hour. We've got so much more coming. Stay tuned. Hit those like buttons, those share buttons, subscribe. We'll be right back.
America's favorite easy-on, easy-off energy compression socks just got better. Introducing CopperFit Energy Plus, the world's first graduated compression socks with a rich blend of ingredients found in the top moisturizing lotions and creams. These micro-encapsulated ingredients are infused into the compression fabric and are gradually released and absorbed by your movement. Motion-activated technology designed to hydrate and soften for all-day comfort. The more you move, the more CopperFit Energy Socks delivers.
I'm not thinking about that I have compression socks on. That simple fact that they feel better with them on than with them off makes me love these socks.
Our most advanced copper-infused compression fabric, made in FDA-approved manufacturing facilities, woven into our easy-on, easy-off graduated compression sock to help reduce swelling and discomfort from prolonged sitting or standing.
I feel that soothingness in my calves and in my ankles, but they can make my feet feel good after 300 miles on the road, and they got to be good for anybody else.
Enhanced compression around the arch and ankles for extra support and relief of muscle aches and pains. And a soft, shock-absorbing footbed for all-day comfort.
All that arch pain that I typically have is just relieved.
They are super comfortable.
They do the job. They're easy and they're effective. That's the whole point of wearing them.
Commercials always promise, promise, promise. This was something easy to try. Just put on a sock, see if it works. I have to say that I'm a fan.
The first ever easy-on, easy-off compression socks with hydrating ingredients, worn by thousands of essential workers across the U.S. Order your Energy Plus compression socks online now at GetEnergyPlus.com for only $19.99 or call 1-800-515-8892. Order right now and get a second pair free.
I get compression, I get comfort, all in one sock.
Motorcycle guys appreciate the better technology. This is better technology.
Feel the power of CopperFit.
Jim and Joanne are here to pick up the same prescription. They both know the system is not on their side. They both know drug costs are out of control. But one of them is taking back control with GoodRx.
Next.
So while he's paying that much, even with his insurance, she's paying this much just by using GoodRx. Use GoodRx to compare prices at pharmacies in your area and stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today and take back control.
This is Kate.
Hey.
She takes 2 prescriptions. Kate's son Jack takes one too. Kate works hard and thought she had good insurance. But she still pays too much. That's no good. So Kate downloaded the GoodRx app. Now she can compare prescription prices to find the best discounts. She even beats her insurance price. Good for you, Kate. Good for you. GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Well, unfortunately, as you know, Maria, I was a member of Congress, and members of Congress have the ability and have a platform to say things, and to say those things not under oath, and to make representations to the American people. Unfortunately, sometimes the things that they say and the things that they represent are not true. And in this case, with regard to Hunter Biden's laptop being part of a Russian disinformation campaign and the intelligence community believing that or assessing that, is simply not true. And the way we deal with that is to have officials like me come out and tell the American people, because the only intelligence that Adam Schiff gets is the intelligence that we, the intelligence community, give him. And we have given him no such intelligence. So to be clear about that.
There you have it. That's the Director of National Intelligence there. Now, remember, we were told back in 2016 and 17 and 18 and 19, you've got to listen to the intelligence community here. So there's the Director of National Intelligence on the television this morning saying this is not Russian disinformation. Mayor Giuliani, thank you for holding over the break. That's John Radcliffe there this morning. You know, we've heard time and time again since last week, since you guys broke this story, since the New York Post broke this story, that this is Russian disinformation. They're trying to meddle in the election again. They're not even holding up to their own standards, as they told us, 4 years ago. Hey, you got to listen when the DNI director gets up on TV. You got to listen to what he says. Well, there you go. There it is. It's clear as day, right, Mayor Giuliani?
As clear as anything that you can possibly say. There are 100 ways you can prove this is Hunter Biden's hard drive, including the fact that he doesn't dispute it, nor does his father. His lawyer called the guy who was fixing it to ask for it before it was even in the post, and said, I'd like Hunter's hard drive back. There were about 10 internal ways that I can prove it. I'm telling you, I put a lot of bad people in jail that are a lot smarter than the Bidens. I mean, they are big crooks, but they really are. I mean, Joe is working at an IQ deficit. He always has been. Part of his problem is he's got this complex because he's been the dumbest kid in class since he was a little boy. Had to cheat his way through.
Mayor, I have a question.
And I don't even think there's a real Joe. I don't think there's a real Joe Biden. When I look at a man who does this to his son, I mean, I'm disgusted. I have no respect for him.
It's true. That is evil. But I have a question for you. As a prosecutor, as a man who has put some of the baddest hombres in America behind bars, when you look at this trove of evidence defining the crimes of the Biden family, how do you compare this to the evidence that you went to trial with against some other people? I mean, is this
this would be about a stronger case? This would be about as strong a case as I've ever seen. I mean, I would guarantee you this guy plead guilty. If you indicted him for RICO, wow. We go back. We just stick to his being vice president. We even have to go back into his Senate career. I mean, nobody's even looking into his brother getting 1/3 of a $1.5, once again, billion-dollar housing contract in Iraq when he was point man in Iraq. I call it the point man case. Every time Joe is appointed a point man by Obama, two things happen. He goes and negotiates for the United States, and the U.S. gets screwed. We lose. We don't get the status of forces agreement in Iraq. We don't get Russia out of Ukraine. In fact, we don't even give him guns. We want him to fight the Russians with slingshots. So he fails in Ukraine. China, he's supposed to get them out of the islands. They increase their presence in the islands. He's supposed to get the tariffs down. They go up. Every place he goes as point man, America loses. We lose, the American people. Every place he goes, the Biden family makes millions. Millions, not thousands, millions. And they make it from some of the most crooked people in the country. Zlochevsky in Ukraine is one of the crookedest guys in Ukraine. Budarina is one of the most crooked women in Russia. And Ying Ming and the people he was dealing with there, I don't even know how to describe them. I mean, first of all, they're Chinese communists, but they're also massive crooks. They're organized criminals. They kill each other. Witness the fact that his partner ends up, as I said, in the Yangtze River. And there's a great screenshot when he's being told that by his partner, Devin Archer. I mean, this is like a crime family.
Very sobering, Mayor, what you said in the Politico interview a couple of days ago about the, I think, a great American patriot who turned over the hard drive because he was frightened for his life. I'd love you to talk, just to comment on that. This is how serious this is, correct?
This is very serious. This is also beyond the corruption and the money, which is staggering, actually. The amount of money is actually just plain staggering. This is a tremendous breach of our national security. I mean, first of all, the damage he did to us in those countries is incalculable. People in Ukraine think we're all corrupt. We don't have any credibility in Ukraine asking them to stop their corruption. They just laugh at us. Second, given his problem, which we can be sympathetic with, we also have to realize he was around the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States. He flew on Air Force One, Air Force Two. We see pictures of him next to Barack Obama. At the same time, we got to know that the Russians and the Chinese have all these same pictures I have, and probably 10 times more. This is a tremendous breach of our national security. And what did the intelligence services do about it? Nothing. The son of the vice president. The son of the vice president is doing crack, going with prostitutes. Some of them obtained by these people, and we don't know about it. Right. Obama doesn't know about it. How much else was happening that he didn't know about? Somebody's got to fix these agencies.
I agree. A lot of the audience is now wondering how this develops and where this goes. You've shown an incredible amount of compassion, I think, for what you call the affliction that Hunter Biden clearly suffers from. And there have been a lot of rumors over the course of the weekend as to where this story is going to develop. What can you tell us about what we can expect over the coming days and weeks?
I can tell you. You remind me of one of the texts that Hunter sends to one of his relatives saying, he put a bullseye on my back. He's talking about his father. He put a bullseye on my back. What a father. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get this protection of him that's going on. This is not a man to protect. I don't care if he's a Republican, he's a Democrat. This is not a man to protect. And this is a man that should be very far away from the White House. Very far. He's hurt this country immeasurably. I now believe he sold us out in negotiations. That's the only explanation for why, as you say, they continue to give him money. The Chinese are very smart. They don't give up lots of money for no value. And they're not supporting Hunter's, crack problem. So if the Chinese continue to give him money, they were getting something for it. And he sure as heck failed in every negotiation. I mean, that was legendary.
One of our listeners, Mayor, who's a veteran, was very upset by the idea that the forces agreement in Iraq was delayed to benefit the Biden family economically because people's lives were being put at risk over in Iraq. And it's a very serious question. And what do you think that says about the character of this man as a potential commander?
The man has no character. I know people that were killed because of failure to have that status of forces agreement. And you have no idea where I see Biden in the range of things. But I just don't understand how, no matter how bad all these left-wing media is, I can't imagine why they want to propel a man like this to the White House, unless they have sinister designs. I mean, I just can't figure out why would you want to put a guy who's an out-and-out total crook for 30 years, and clearly is, I don't know, what do we want to say about his mental condition? He's slipping. He can't do the Pledge of Allegiance. But what are we doing? We're putting a crooked, disabled head in the White House. So that China can take advantage of it. I mean, it's beyond belief how their hatred of Donald Trump exceeds any care they have for the people of this country.
Mayor Giuliani, he's called himself a transition candidate, right? Now, a lot of people read that to mean that was a transition between him and Kamala and maybe the far left of the Democratic Party. Maybe he was speaking in a term that we more understand in this room, in the war room, something we talk about a lot, which is managed decline. Maybe Joe Biden sees himself as the transition from American global hegemony to Chinese global hegemony. Maybe that's the transition candidate he was talking about. What do you think about that?
Actually, I have to tell you, Raheem, I don't think he's smart enough. I don't think he's smart enough to think of that. All he thinks about is how much money's coming in, how much money he has, and then whatever phony thing they tell him to say. The day I met Joe Biden, I was told by one of his classmates he was the dumbest guy in the law school class. So for years, I've always known that he's very dumb, and I watch him at times, and I see him reciting platitudes that were given to him by other people. I don't know if he has the mental ability to actually analyze. He knows how to count money, and he knows how to sell out. I mean, look, 40 years he was against public funding of abortion. And when the left wing looked at him and said, you got to be in favor of it, he changed his mind. And then he wears his Catholic religion on his sleeve. I mean, what a phony.
Mayor, we're up against the break here. We're up against the break here, but we're incredibly grateful for your time. Thank you so much, Mayor Giuliani. We'll be watching very closely the developments in the days and week plus to come. The debate's certainly going to be fiery on Thursday. We'll get into that and more. Jack Posobiec joins us in the next segment here. War Room Pandemic, or maybe the one after that. Jack Maxey, Raheem Kassam, we'll be right back.
So, Frank, you're the big hurt. Why do you need Nugenics?
After 40, a guy loses free testosterone. Even me. I couldn't stay in shape like I used to.
Frank. So does Nugenics really work?
Oh, yeah. My workouts are incredible now. I'm feeling stronger, more energetic, with a lot more drive.
Frank. So, say I knew someone who should try Nugenics. How does he do that?
It's easy. Just send a text to get a complimentary bottle.
Frank's right. Now you can claim a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics by texting BUFF to 42424. Its unique formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate. Text BUFF to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenics Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenics Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. That's BUFF to 42424.
If you're over 50, imagine you could turn back the clock on your stiff, achy joints 10, even 20 years. Imagine you could do this without products that just temporarily hide the symptoms and may have side effects. Imagine no more. Get your complimentary sample of Instaflex Advanced just by texting JOINT to 231231. Instaflex Advanced is different because it targets the root cause of joint soreness and stiffness. It doesn't just cover up symptoms. Instead, it bathes your joints in its unique combination of 5 key natural ingredients found in no other product. Key ingredients backed by 5 clinical studies. Instaflex Advanced is so powerful, you could have better knees in just 1 week. Maybe that's why it's #1 at GNC. But you can only get your complimentary sample by texting JOINT to 231231. Plus, text now and we'll include a tube of Instaflex pain cream with its exclusive oxygenated oil for fast-acting relief from the pain of arthritis, backaches, and sore muscles, absolutely free. Text JOINT to 231231.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow, towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work. What a concept.
I really love the towels. They're really great. They're super absorbent.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. The new MyPillow towels are exclusively made with 100% USA combed cotton with proprietary technology and with maximum absorbency. They dry you faster and are guaranteed to work. And listen to this. Use the promo code on your screen and Mike will include a second full towel set with bath towel, hand towel, and washcloth absolutely free. That's 2 MyPillow towel sets for the price of 1 in your choice of color.
I personally guarantee they're going to be the best towels you'll ever own.
Order now.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
They knew it was such a lie.
We'll get to this, but okay.
That they put a woman's name on the story, reportedly, that didn't even know her name was going to be on the story. The man who wrote that story knew it was such a lie. The New York Post knew it was such a lie that he refused to put his name on that story. They published a series of lies peddled to them by Rudy Giuliani, who admitted that nobody else would take it but Rupert Murdoch's New York Post, because they might look into it and tell the truth. And Democrats saying, oh, what are we going to do? So I'm not talking about Democrats now. I'm just saying historically. Mm-hmm. Republicans have been able to lie like this, and columnists at the Wall Street Journal editorial page going, what are we going to do about the liberal problem at Facebook? When again, day in and day out, the most viewed pages on Facebook, the most shared pages on Facebook are from right-wing conspiracy theorists, anti-Trumpers, who present a disgusting, twisted view of the world. And then Republicans like Josh Hawley. I mean, he's serious. I don't know him at all, so this isn't personal, but he's either the stupidest person ever to walk through the halls of Congress or the most disingenuous. He's going, we have a problem with it. We need to censor Facebook. Really, Josh? Oh, you're a conservative and you have to censor a private. I got problems with Mark Zuckerberg. I think 230 should be eliminated. I think it should be. I think like we broke up the baby bells. I think Facebook should be broken into 1,000 pieces after what they did in 2016, letting the Russians in, and Sheryl Sandberg learning that the board was being told about this and getting angry that the truth was getting out. They should be broken into 1,000,000 pieces.
Okay, Raheem. I think we've heard enough of Morning Joe. You want to bring us back, and we can have commentary and analysis on Mayor Giuliani and the meltdown of Joe Scarborough.
He says, welcome back to the War Room. Stephen K. Bannon joining us in this segment. Jack Maxey, Raheem Kassam here on Capitol Hill. We got record-breaking numbers in the live chat right now, Steve. So what did you make of first Mayor Giuliani and then the Morning Joe and Mika meltdowns?
Well, listen, so people should put this in perspective. Let's do a reset and kind of frame this. The Biden campaign, the Democratic Party, their mainstream media partners, right, the opposition party media, they're in full either vapor lock or meltdown right now. Biden has always been a soft target. He's not a hard target, right? And the people around him are not hard. They've had no response from this now for 5 days. You just heard this morning, Maria, the head of DNI came out that sees all the intelligence. This is not a Russian op. It's a hard drive. We've got that email from the lawyer. This is why they haven't denied anything. People on the email chain actually told Fox on Friday, yes, that's me, and that big guy 10% is Joe Biden. And more information is coming out even as I speak. You know, I'm on assignment. Rudy's around, out and about. There's more damning information coming out. It's all the Bidens. It's all Hunters, right, and other members of the Biden family. And they can't have it. The narrative about it's Russia is it's collapsing. And once that's collapsing, they don't have anything. Because they realize that the media has protected this guy for decades. And once again, the progressive left, the mainstream media brought it on themselves. And I hope that Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and AOC, I hope all a populist left learns a lesson here of the Faustian bargain you made with the establishment. Guess what? You got played. You should have asked these hard questions, and it's quite obvious if the FBI director had come forward with this hard drive in the late November, early December timeframe, there wouldn't have been an impeachment trial. We'd saved all the time and money and opportunity costs and be able to focus on, guess what, the pandemic that started, 30 days afterwards. We could have focused on the pandemic. And so that, and Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren would have been the nominee going against Donald Trump. We would have had populist versus populist. That's where America, that's where the fight should be. We have a neoliberal neocon because the apparatus, and look, I'm not a deep state conspiracy theory guy. I've never been, but there's also no coincidences. And there's going to have to be some very hard questions to ask, I think, today or tomorrow. And I am an advocate that if Ray doesn't have specific answers for 10 direct charges about this hard drive, if he doesn't know about it or has made decisions not to put it forward in the investigations, then he should be fired in the room. Rudy says, well, he ought to offer his resignation. I think he ought to be fired. It's a disgrace. This is a total disgrace. And I got to tell you, there's so much more coming out. There's so much more coming out from other institutions. He's now had Jack Posobiec is going to follow me. Jack's on an incredible Matthew Turman, who's been on our show so many times. Raheem, I know is a close friend of yours, has got a guy to flip, a guy that the Bidens are trying to stick, a securities fraud thing on. One of Devin Arch's partners, all these guys that he's got to get security fraud violations. This guy's coughed up affidavits and 26,000 emails. And there's a whole other raft of things that are going to come out. There's other hard drives, I think, bouncing around. And so you're going to have, other affidavits, other information, other hard things. The Biden campaign is clearly not prepared to deal with it. To wit, that surrogate they sent out the phone on Sunday. I'm not for firing people, but she's got to be benched. She was so awful. She admitted that the hard drive's authentic. You know why it is authentic? They talked internally. But if you're going to send a surrogate out to spin and defend, don't send her. Bench her. So everything they've got, and this Joe Biden says a smear. It's not a smear. These are just your own emails. These are emails of your family, your brother, right? Text messages. There's much more coming out. Extensive information coming out. Biden campaign, and they put it on what they put on. Announced on CBS yesterday. They put a lid on it. Joe Biden is not going to really have any avails until Thursday. I got to tell him, you better get some practice here, brother, because Donald J. Trump is coming hard. Right, I know the new philosophy is let Biden finish. He'll let Biden finish, but on this thing of the corruption, of selling out the country, of being a national security risk, because this is not at the end of the day about Hunter Biden. This is the end of the day about Joe Biden and the way Joe Biden comports himself. And that Joe Biden should not have a security clearance. Joe Biden has to come forward to the American people and talk about how he sold people out. Jack Maxey brings up an amazing, amazing point that even Rudy didn't think about Joe Biden has basically looked the other way of not just his son's drug addiction and drug use, but the extended family's drug use. He's allowed that to go along, I guess, with Secret Service people around or whatever. They've looked the other way on that. But has still, he's still one of the guys who's back to this crime bill. You've got, he doesn't care about the factories and workers up in Pennsylvania because he sold them out to the Chinese, the CCP's in business with the worst guys in the Chinese Communist Party. These guys are now, they're so bad, as Rudy says, the guys at the bottom of the Yangtze River. So it's just the mainstream media and social media can try to suppress it. It only becomes a bigger tell. Morning Joe can have all their meltdowns. Joe, you can sit there and have your total meltdown. But no, it's not a lie. If it was a lie, the Bidens would be suing the New York Post. They're not going to sue the New York Post because the discovery would be devastating. Right? That's not what they're suing because they're going to sit there and go, "Hey, there are your emails. Here's the metadata. Tell me what we got wrong." Right? So this story is only going to get bigger. And here's what it's shifting. You see the numbers tightening. And for our audience, I think one thing to think about: this is going to become a referendum on Joe Biden. It's going to become a referendum on Joe Biden's. Is he really ready morally, mentally, and from from being squared away enough to be actual president of the United States? It's now going to become a referendum on Joe Biden in the last 2 weeks. And when people weigh and measure that, you're going to find out that Joe Biden is corrupt. He's been for decades, but now he's sold out the country. His family sold out the country, and it's all going to be there. And not just that there's these acts of depravity that they're going to have to answer for. So this is going to be, the American people are going to have plenty of time to weigh and measure Joe Biden and the Biden family, and they can come to the conclusion. It's not going to be a referendum on Trump. It's going to be a referendum on Joe Biden.
Steve, when you have this kid, Hunter Biden, and he's so debauched, I always say I think he's pushed Charlie Sheen into second place here. He's that bad. But can you imagine what was going on inside those Chinese hotels with the BYG program over there in Beijing with a kid who's got a crack addiction and will throw a leg over on anything? I mean, there's probably things that he's done overseas that have compromised him beyond belief. Wouldn't you imagine?
Well, no, this is why I think Rudy brings up the point, is that this is why, Biden went so soft on the Chinese in these negotiations over cyber intrusions in the South China Sea. Why was China always winning before Trump showed up, when Biden was in charge of the pivot to Asia? And this is the question that Tony Blinken, right? They're talking about Tony Blinken versus Susan Rice, Secretary of State. Tony Blinken is unconfirmable and going to be unconfirmable. As Jake Sullivan, right? Kurt Campbell, other people associated with that know about the trips to China, that know about Hunter's, because Joe's always protecting, know about his business relationship. Look, you've got a couple of his partners now that are starting to flip. And the other day on the email that Fox confirmed, that was a guy in the email that been at least a paid consultant, and he flipped. So you're getting this. You're absolutely right. The BGY is a shorthand for how the Chinese Communist Party basically gets ability to blackmail people, either through money, through sexual favors, and or through, hacking their internet and getting their emails. So it's, and those three things, these guys have had plenty of opportunity to have Hunter Biden, in China, and have him in all types of situations. And clearly, he's a compromise. That's what this word is called, compromise. The Biden family's compromised. They're a national security problem for the United States. Everything's got to be gone into. And the question gets to be back to the FBI. Why did Ray not come forward and share this hard drive. You know, the Bernie Sanders voters would like to see that. The Elizabeth Warren voters would like to see that. Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren would be the Democratic nominee right now. This would all come out. Joe Biden. This has been a non-starter for Democratic working class voters. And so we're in this situation because the apparatus once again protects a neoliberal neocon that is part of the establishment. And you're absolutely correct. And that's why I think with Rudy, Mayor Giuliani's going off in the intelligence services. Clapper, Brennan, Comey, and Hayden, just keep their mouth shut. Nobody wants to hear from them anymore. You're all lies on the Russia thing. There's nothing but lies. And the Chinese, and Schiff's committee comes forward and says, yes, we've had a major failure in the last 20 years. That's because of those guys. It's all going to come out. It's all going to get exposed. And we're going to find out now, is there any correlation between Joe Biden and Joe Biden taking money and Joe Biden having meetings that the Peter Schweitzer stories the other day? Is there any correlation between that and the Chinese in our agents? We lost 24. Jack Maxey, was it 24 of our top agents in China that were all mysteriously given up? The question's got to be asked, hey, you were taking meetings, you were having meetings set up, they were breaking foreign laws, introducing these Chinese guys. Afterwards, you get into a huge relationship with the Chinese Communist Party. It's a tough question, but the question's got to be asked, what did Joe Biden know and when did he know it? Well, what was his access to this information that we get it eviscerated in China with our intelligence apparatus? Joe Biden's clearly taking meetings, making money, spending 25 hours with Xi. What was he talking about with Xi? Was he talking about the Chinese agents? Hey, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. Let's get the readouts of the 25 hours.
Yeah. Steve, we're up against the break right here.
I'll be back in the 11 o'clock hour, guys. Good luck with Posobiec.
All right, fine.
Hoo-yah.
Stephen K. Bannon, Jack Maxey, Raheem Kassam. Jack Posobiec joins us after the break. Don't go anywhere. Loads more news coming out. Steve talked about Matthew Tillman and the new emails. Well, I was on the phone with Matthew Tillman this morning. We'll ask Jack Posobiec more when we return.
Do you have any idea how your mattress affects your body and how well you sleep? Is it too hard or too soft, causing you to wake up with sore shoulders, back, or hips? Are you uncomfortable because you're too hot or too cold? Now you can get the total body support you need and the better sleep you want with the new MyPillow mattress topper.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. When I invented my new MyPillow mattress topper, I made it to have everything you'd ever want in a topper. My mattress topper helps give you the support you need, helps relieve your pressure points, and regulates your body temperature for you as an individual. It comes with a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry the cover. It's made in the USA, and I back it with my 60-day money-back guarantee.
Go to MyPillow.com or call now to get your very own MyPillow mattress topper. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 30% off and 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Order now.
MyPillow topper delivers on its promise to give me a better night's sleep.
I can sleep all night through, and it's a miracle for me.
Mike's exclusive 3-layer design starts with a layer of MyPillow foam, providing you superior support and comfort. The second layer of transitional foam evenly distributes body weight and helps relieve uncomfortable pressure points for optimal comfort. Mike's ultra-soft outer layer is a patented temperature-regulating cover that helps keep you at your ideal sleeping temperature all night long. Unlike other sleep systems costing thousands, the MyPillow mattress topper takes comfort to a whole new level without any wires, remotes, or moving parts. Call now or go to MyPillow.com to order your MyPillow topper. Use the promo code to save 30%. When you do, Mike will give you 2 of his standard MyPillows absolutely free. That's right, 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off your MyPillow topper today. Order now.
I personally guarantee it's going to change your bed into the most comfortable bed you'll ever own.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
This is the kind of card that has America talking. With it, people with Medicare are getting all-in-one coverage for their doctor visits, hospital care, prescription drugs, and more. This kind of insurance, called Medicare Part C, may also cover dental care, eyeglasses, hearing aids, fitness programs, vitamins, even healthy meals and rides to the doctor. With this kind of coverage, you do not need a Medicare supplement insurance plan. You will access your benefits through your Medicare Part C plan for one low and oftentimes $0 monthly plan premium. You deserve to get the most from your Medicare benefits. Call now for free information that may help you get more coverage for less money. There is no obligation to enroll. Whether for yourself or someone you love, call the number on the screen now. Call now.
War Room Pandemic with Stephen K. Bannon.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Welcome back to the War Room. It's Monday, October 19th, the year of our Lord 2020. And I know we have a record-breaking live audience today. I want to reset for all of you guys. This is the news show you need to watch. This is the news show that you need to pay very close attention to. We had Mayor Giuliani on in the first segment. We had Stephen K. Bannon on in the second. We're about to have Jack Posobiec on. We're going through all of the details of these stories that the establishment media does not want to talk about, that they are actively lying to you about. How do you know it? You had the Director of National Intelligence on the television this morning. He said, this isn't Russian disinformation. That's his job. His job is to identify when there is foreign interference in an election. And guess what? This ain't it. Jack Posobiec, One American News, joins us down the line now. Jack, where are you in the world?
I am in Chicago. I am right down the street from Trump Tower, Chicago, and we are here working on a piece of tranche of documents that have been received by independent journalist Matthew Tierman, also by Peter Schweitzer, from a former business associate of Hunter Biden. So what we've got now is an entirely separate source than the laptop, an entirely separate source from what's come out before.
Okay, so let's break this down for people here. We've had the DNI director on the television this morning saying this ain't Russia. We're talking about this is Hunter Biden's laptop and his emails. You're talking about, however, a totally separate tranche here. Just explain to us, for the people who haven't seen this breaking over the course of, I know you've had about 100,000 retweets on this over the course of the weekend, but for those who haven't been so Twitter heavy over the course of this weekend, Jack, walk us through, where does this latest breaking tranche come from, and how many documents are we talking about here?
Right. And so Schweitzer's been out there on this, and Tierman's been out on this as well. But essentially what it is, it's 26,000 emails in total that have come out. There's a former business associate of Hunter Biden and Devin Archer. That's a name that I think people will remember at this point for Rosemont Seneca. He was Biden's, essentially his alter ego in business. Hunter Biden wasn't involved in the day-to-day operations of this. He was involved by adding his name to these deals that allowed him to be able to get bigger access for it. So this is a guy that was sort of down in there, kind of a paper pusher for them. But he's someone who years later ended up behind bars, while Devin Archer and Hunter Biden were able to skate away free. He's behind bars because of one of their corrupt schemes, and he has, for lack of a better term, he has flipped. He has reached out, and he's got the documents and full access, essentially, to his email account to Tierman and to Schweitzer. Now they're working with us, they're working with others, they're going through these emails. There's personal stuff in here. It's a guy's email account. There's personal stuff in here, but there's a lot of business information, a lot of corrupt dealings, a lot of the vast majority of which is with foreign interests. We're talking China, we're talking Russia, we're talking Ukraine, we're talking Kazakhstan.
I wanted to ask you a question, Jack. Is this, am I able to ask the name of the guy? Because I think we pretty much know, right? Bevan Cooney?
Bevan Cooney.
Isn't he the guy who's...
Yes, this is Bevan Cooney. This is not, I realized I didn't say the name. This is not, 4 unnamed sources going to the Atlantic, right? This is a named individual. There are names throughout these documents. In fact, one of the parts of it that they're working on right now is making sure to redact some of the information because there's personal email addresses, personal phone numbers, because there are so many names in this. We're not hiding behind the veneer of anonymous sources. This is a named source. His name is Bevan Cooney. You will see his name on the emails. You will see his name having worked with Devin Archer, with Hunter Biden, as being part of this gang, essentially.
Hey, Jack, it's important, I think, for our audience to know what it is that these guys did. They defrauded the Oglala Sioux Nation, Native American tribe out of millions and millions of dollars in a fraudulent bond issuance, okay? Now, just last week, a judge said that they're going to actually prosecute, they're actually going to put Devin Archer in jail. He got away for a little while saying that he had no knowledge. Now, what's so interesting about this case is if you go back and look through it, the Oglala Sioux, in their testimony, claimed that Biden was one of the reasons why they invested in the deal. Well, guess what? Oh, you know, Biden said he had no idea that these guys had used his name incorrectly. And Archer kind of claimed the same thing. And this guy, Bevan Cooney, took the dive, probably with some promise of, you know, we'll take care of you on the other side. Well, now Bevan Cooney, my understanding is like, hey, I took the fall for these guys, and I'm not doing it anymore. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Maxie, if you look at the dates on the Oglala Sioux case, essentially it looks like what happens is that's something that they got into after Joe Biden left office. So you can see how when Biden is in office, that's when they're able to work with the foreign interests. That's when they're able to work with foreign oligarchs, like the Moscow mayor's wife, for example, former Moscow mayor. It is after Biden leaves office that for some reason they don't seem to have that same level of access. The same reason probably that the Clinton Foundation donations all started drying up when she lost the presidency. So in 2017, they still want to make money. They want to keep the grift going. They move into riskier ventures. They move into uncharted territory. That's when they get involved with this Sioux deal that ends in massive corruption charges and ends with Bevan Cooney behind bars.
Okay, so go ahead.
And now they're going to prosecute. Devin Archer's going to probably go behind bars in January. And let's tie all this together. Devin Archer is Christopher Heinz's roommate from Yale. Rosemont Seneca is named after the Heinz farm outside of Pittsburgh. It's high time that we get some answers from the Heinz family about the use of their little trust fund to be cover for all of this.
Hey, Jack Posobiec, can you hang on the line? We've got to go to a quick break in a moment. Can you hang on the line? I just want one or two more questions for you.
Of course.
Thank you very much. All right, War Room Pandemic returns in just a moment. We've got to take a break here. But be very, very, very clinical about the way you're looking at this, ladies and gentlemen, because you heard we played you over the course of this hour the responses from the establishment media. You know, Wikipedia, the post-millennial is reporting right now, Wikipedia is saying that these are debunked. They're not debunked. We've barely even started. So stay tuned. When we come back, Jack Posobiec's going to walk us through more of what he's looking into, more of what One American News is going to break today. You're going to want to watch out for that. Jack Maxey, Raheem Kassam, Stephen K. Bannon will be back. We've got a whole lot more to go through in the next hour. In the break, like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best sleep of my life.
They are so soft and smooth. I never slept so good.
I fall asleep faster because I'm actually comfortable.
I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable, which is why I can give you my full 10-year warranty. But I didn't stop there. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. I guarantee you the first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors and will be the softest, most comfortable sheets you will ever own. Use the promo code and get 2 for 1 low price, plus free shipping. Giza Dreams are made with the finest, most sought-after cotton in the world. Giza cotton was once reserved for only the finest dress shirts, but is now available in Mike's Giza Dream Sheets. They feature a beautiful silky sateen velveteen weave that helps keep you cool and comfortable all night long.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best rest of my life.
I love my Giza Dream Sheets. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Use the promo code and Mike will give you a very special 2-for-1 low price and free shipping. That's right, get 2 for 1 low price and free shipping. Call or go online now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.